If you do win the big prize, CBS News legal analyst Jack Ford has some free advice. Jack, good morning.
Nothing's ever
need,
free,
advice.
Charlie. You know that.
He's a lawyer. Nothing's ever free, exactly.
So these people said the first thing they did was they called a lawyer. Is that good advice?
It is good advice. You know, you want to make sure that you've got a team surrounding you. We heard about them putting together a financial team, a legal team. At this point, you know what, guys, you can afford to bring in some people who can provide you with some good advice. Make sure they're the right people. You know, you don't want, just because somebody says, well, you know, my next door neighbor's brother-in-law is a lawyer, you should talk to him. Make sure you find yourself a good lawyer, good financial analyst, and take their advice very early on.
So your advice is to wait a while before you claim the prize, to get some people in place around you, a lawyer, a financial team, etc.
It is a good idea, I think, Nora. You know, you got to do a couple of things. First thing you have to do is sign the ticket when it shows up here. Yeah, you know, the reason is it's the ticket that's the winner. And you want to make sure that there's no question. There are a lot of people who love to get their hands on that ticket, especially if you're talking about $500 million. Sign it, put it in a safe place. And a safe place is not a shoebox in your closet. You know, get to your local bank, get a safety deposit box. But take some time to settle in. Get your team in place. Make sure you know what's going on here. Get the advice that you want to go. You don't have to go running out and tell everybody right away, because the next thing you're going to get is what we saw in the piece just a few moments ago. Everybody in the world is going to be after you saying, you know, hey, why don't you share some of your wealth with us? Take a little bit of time and get things sorted out with the team.
And then probably the most complicated thing is when a group buys a ticket or a set of tickets, which a lot of offices do, a lot of people in a church group do. What do you do with that? Because that can become a really messy situation if you win.
Yeah, we've seen some of those situations out there, Nora. And the idea is everything is fine with your gang when you're all chipping in money and throwing in some into a pool and buying tickets. Everything is fine until it isn't. And usually when it isn't is because all of a sudden you hit that lottery and the one person who had played for all the other weeks wasn't at work that day and didn't throw their $2 into the pool. So it's always a good idea to make sure everybody agrees what you're doing. Look, even if you write something on a napkin in the cafeteria at work that says, here, the 5 of us are part of this deal. We're each putting in money, and if we're not here 1 week, somebody else will cover for us if that's your deal. Always a better idea to anticipate how you would handle this wonderful news rather than having to deal with it afterwards.
And save your napkins.
Yeah, save that napkin and frame that napkin, as a matter of fact, if indeed you win.
Jack Ford, thank you. We're going to call this news you probably can't use,
Exactly.
since most people will not win.